Hey, it's Hockey John from Puckline Betting, and welcome to the Daily Scoring Charts podcast. We have a really great game on tap today that's going to show how we can really use the charts that we create to our advantage. And I want to just get right into it. It's the Coyotes at the Wild tonight, and if you're following hockey, then you know that the Coyotes just came off a really big winner last night in Winnipeg on the road. A 1-0 could have been a lot different than that, but it was a 1-0 final. And the Coyotes managed to stop 46 shots on goal while only throwing up 15. So, not to mention there was a 4-minute power play in the last 5 minutes of that game, and they still managed to pitch a shutout, Vejmelka's first shutout of the season, and a shutout with 46 shots on goal is a very impressive thing, particularly considering the snipers that the Jets have. So why do we care about last night? Well, let's face it, it was a huge winner. It was probably unexpected from a gambling perspective. Winnipeg was like minus 320. It was a really huge number. And there probably weren't a lot of Coyotes backers. There were probably a lot of people after that game saying, gosh, I really thought they were going to win that. But, well, woulda, shoulda, coulda, right? Anyway, we liked that finish last night because we've all seen big win hangovers, right? We're going to say two things are true here. One, that's probably likely with the Coyotes. It was a massive win, and it was a massive personal achievements on many levels for many players in that game. But the other thing is Minnesota's on fire at home. I mean, they are a red hot hockey team that is in a lot of people's, top 1, 2, 3 spots for, for power, for team power. We would expect on any normal day for Minnesota to get it done against Arizona, particularly at home. And by and large, that's what we're counting on. But I want to show you how, these charts can really, really pop good data and no doubt some really good plays. And I want to take a real quick peek here at the first four categories that we track, which is roughly period scoring plus whether or not there will be an early goal in that game. And as we look at these, I mean, Minnesota ranks first at home, third at home, 22nd at home. Not great, but, not bad considering their current form has them with 4 out of the last 5 games at home they've played over to the third period. And of course, early goal scoring is on their side too. When we talk about Minnesota from a gambling perspective, I like to talk about them in terms of early and often. They score early and they score often. And we can, if I back this up just a little bit and we'll take a look at this, we can see their period scoring. They're actually, even after this many games in the season, they're one of just a handful of teams in the league that have double-digit scoring in every period. And this plays to our advantage because if we go back and look at this, the Yotes don't trend very well when we're talking about period overs. Now, that has to do with two things. Defensively, they're managing to get it done because they don't have a ton of offense. And they don't have a ton of offense. So these are not great things to bring to the table when you're coming off a huge win in Winnipeg, travel, and you're going to meet, arguably the top team in the NHL right now who gets it done early and often. And we can see this. We can see this manifested through each of these periods. We can see it manifested here in their period data. We can see it manifested here. Minnesota's scored four times at home, and they've won all 4 games. They've scored second 5 times, but they've managed to win 3 of those games. So what I'm saying tonight is that I like Minnesota more than any other bet in the first period right now. And I got them at plus 100. That line appears that it's going to disappear today, and maybe it already has. I had a 105 at my other outlet and decided, well, why not take, the plus 100? So there wasn't a large disparity between the 105 and the 100, but we think it's a really good play because if nothing else, we like Minnesota to just outscore the Yotes in the first period. And as we can see here, when we look at first period data, it's not Arizona's strong suit to win, to score goals in the first period. Now, Minnesota is letting in, some first period goals, which attributes a fair amount to their success in having period overs. But, this isn't a big offensive team here in Arizona. Minnesota's got really good goaltending. They've got decent defense. They will score, like we said, early and often. So everything that you can see on this chart, which are the things that we look for big disparities in data, because when these are dead even, well, we're at a coin toss then. We can look at this chart and say, gosh, one team doesn't score and one team does score often, right? So that's the play that you can see is clearly illuminated on this chart here through the data that we track. We expect Minnesota to win the first period. We're going to put our money where our mouth is, and we're going to lay a half a puck for even money tonight.